gravity gun. You can say it's almost the pinnacle of Half-Life 2's gameplay. You get the gun, and then you pick up the stuff, and then you shoot the stuff, and the gun goes pew! Anyway, the gravity gun plays a very crucial role in Half-Life 2's story. Starting from Ravenholm, the map designers laid out the level specifically for the players to utilize the gravity gun as much as they can. There's scarce ammo, but a whole lot of props that Gordon can pick up and yank at the zombies. Later on, there's more uses for the gravity gun. Grabbing things out of reach, picking up roller mines and landmines, and of course, the jacked up gravity gun Gordon uses in the final level when all of his weapons are confiscated. So in this video, let's take a quick look at how we got to this point. The gravity gun wasn't always like this. It started off as a different idea. The Fizz gun, or the physics gun. The plan was that the game designers at Valve wanted players to use this Fizz gun and craft makeshift structures such as bridges and stairs. But a little bit into development, as the level design got more and more developed and polished, Valve designers realized that this Fizz gun would not be easily integrated into the game. From the condition we can see in the leaked files, the gun was rough, buggy, and just not fun to use. But it is impressive how they implemented the whole physics system and how each prop has a very specific weight to it and how the gun reacts to different types and weights of props. Very nice stuff. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes and go through each version and succeeding variant of this whole idea. The original Fizz gun, March 2000. It's referred to that by the date stamps of the audio files found along with the models when it was leaked recently. This was created sometime after Valve licensed the Ipion virtual physics tech for the source engine. Ipion would be later bought by the well-known game tech company Havoc. The 3ds Max file for this, the software in which Valve modeled everything, shows us a gradual progress of how this model was made. First, we have an incomplete model with just a metallic base, and then another one with this little part added in. And finally, the version we all know with the parts included. Now the texture files. These textures were mapped onto the model, and there's something very interesting. Texture map 21 and 23. Oddly looks like Half-Life 1 textures, don't they? Well, personally, I feel like these all look like Half-Life 1 era textures. These textures are in the Half-Life SDK, but these are high-resolution versions that we found in the leak. This is nothing too deep to think about, but it's definitely an interesting find. Here's another neat little tidbit about this. In this concept art, I never quite understood what Eli Maxwell was holding. Maybe some people did get the idea, but I honestly never knew that he was actually holding the Fizz gun in his hand. Last fun fact about this version. You see, in 3D modeling, when you're texturing a model, you lay down this grid, this UV of the model over a texture image. When community members checked the UVs of the hands used in the Fizz gun model, they realized they don't actually fit over the HEV suit textures, but rather the black leather suit Gordon was originally supposed to have. Interesting. The physics gun icon version. In the leaked files, there's a UI sprite texture called W_icons4B. There's no model for this version of the Fizz gun, but from the side profile, we can see it was drastically different from the back and overall had a much more futuristic look. Lastly, all sprite textures like these in the leaked files always had a model to go alongside with it, meaning there was probably one model made for this version, but we never got it in the leak. The new physics gun. I'm not sure what the story is behind this one, but it really looks similar to the version that came after. Main difference is that it has these red rotors on its barrels and that its overall length is short. And I don't think there's an in-game leaked version that we can see in the beta, just this image, or I guess the 3ds Max file of this. The leaked version. Now this is the classic one we all know and love. This was the final version of the Fizz gun before the whole idea was scrapped. This was featured in the E3 2003 demo, but shortly after, it was discarded for the game, and then we were left with only the Fizz cannon. I find it interesting that this is what the last Fizz gun looked like, while the Fizz cannon looked like this. While the fizz cannon, later the gravity gun, would look like this, I feel like it takes a lot of inspiration from the last fizz gun they made. Now while the fizz gun idea was scrapped, they still had the fizz cannon in the game. The fizz cannon, if we look at its earliest sound files, are date stamped from 2001, hence they implemented the cannon in that year. Fizz Cannon 2002. This model was originally uncovered in the 2016 leaks, and Pelpix, the leaker, showed it with a different texture than what OddDoc would show later. Now here's the thing, these textures were in the 2003 leak, we just didn't have the model to put them on until 2016. But then these textures were also found, and then we get the Pelpix version with the placeholder model written on it, and then we get the OddDoc version which uses the other texture. Seeing that there's temp written in both texture file names, I'm guessing they were yet to finalize what the final thing would look like. The leaked version. This is the version we always had in the 2003 leaked files. It uses high resolution textures than what the retail gravity gun uses, and feels like uses the design philosophy of the last fizz gun model. While it does have texture and minor model differences compared to the retail version, I'm honestly too stupid to point out any of those, so let's move on. The community found an interesting thing about these yellow parts though. While it not may be the exact image, it's very much likely that this texture is an image of a jet engine that they painted orange and slapped onto the model. The final version. Here it is, the ever classic gravity gun. The main thing to note here is that in the retail game, the texture resolution was reduced from 1024x to 512x to optimize and improve game performance. Lastly, here's a comparison between retail and leaked version of the texture sheet of the gravity gun. While these ones look identical, you can notice quite a few differences in the super gravity gun textures. The retail one makes it feel much more powerful compared to the earlier version. I gotta say, the gravity gun has to be one of the most iconic weapons to be put into a video game. While the idea is literally that it picks and throws things, the way it was incorporated into the game is what cemented its reputation as such a fun weapon to use. And I do acknowledge that there's a good subset of Half-Life fans out there who actually don't like the gravity gun, and that they think that the whole Ravenholm chapter is nothing but a tech demo for the source engine. I get where they're all coming from and I respect their opinion, but to me, the gravity gun is a very memorable part of the game. Using it in Ravenholm, in Sand Traps, in the final, it is very much a staple of the game and part of its identity. That's all for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thanks and shout out goes to these beautiful benefactors for supporting the channel. I'll see you in the next one.